It's a MOADT-Throwback.
I was amazed the other day when I was approached by a movie producer who asked me if I would consider being a movie star. So here I am. For a few minutes, I'd like to talk to you about something which is very important to you and very important to me. That something is eye protection. What I'd like to talk about today is the reasoning behind the decision to go to 100% eye protection for everyone in the division. Naturally, you're going to wonder why we want to spend between $30,000 and $40,000 for eye protection. That's a lot of money, and there are other things that we could do with that amount of money. Let me say one thing from the start. What we're looking for with this eye protection program is not a monetary return on our investment. There is no way we can make money on it. We could take that same $30,000 or $40,000 to pay for hundreds of minor eye injuries. If we did that, it wouldn't prove anything. For this reason, people would still be getting injured. What we're looking for with this eye protection program is a fulfillment of our responsibility to take every possible step to see that you don't get hurt. We're going to make more and more efforts in the field of safety. There are some small hazards that are going to be corrected. These things have a way of slipping once in a while, so we're going to get caught up on them. Right here at the St. Joseph Division, we average over 60 eye injuries each year. In nearly all cases, the injuries could have been prevented if the individual had been wearing his safety glasses. It's a strange thing, but somehow we don't worry enough about our eyes. Now look at this picture here. She wouldn't think of trying that with her bare hands. None of us would, because we know from experience that we can get cut. Yet most of us will work in an area where our eyes could be injured and not wear safety glasses. Right about here, you might think, what's he talking about? There's no danger where I work. This brings me to another point. We have analyzed our eye injuries here in the division. We have found that many of our eye injuries have occurred in areas where nobody ever thought there would be an eye hazard. I know lots of plants that require everyone in the manufacturing area to wear eye protection. Our decision to install a 100% eye protection program was not based on anyone else's decision. We know, however, that these plants, they have proportionally fewer eye injuries than we have. The Clark Equipment Company here in the Twin Cities is another plant where everyone wears eye protection. Our Marion division started out with 100% eye protection, and their injuries have been almost nothing compared to ours. It's easy to see that everyone there wears his eye protection while he's working. Like I say, it pays off, not in dollars and cents, because that's not what we're looking for. It pays off instead for the man and his family. I don't know how many of you are familiar with our St. Paul operation. This is another plant which has 100% eye protection. A lot of people were injured there before the program was put into effect, and one man lost an eye. But their injuries have dropped to almost nothing. Our decision to install a 100% eye protection program here at St. Joe is not something we just dreamed up. I don't think there is one of us who would want to be told he had to do something. I know how I feel when someone tells me, you've got to do this or that. What we want to do is make it darn near impossible for anyone to get hurt if we can help it. Now, you know as well as I do that once in a while somebody is going to be injured because he wouldn't follow safety rules, or maybe he forgot for a second. What I am saying is that with complete eye protection, there is less chance of a fellow getting injured if he is trying not to. I'll bet some of you can remember when the conveyor screens were not there. They have been there so long that most of us don't even notice them. Yet, the reason they are there is to keep parts from falling on someone. I know a man here in the plant who wore safety shoes for 15 years because he knew it could happen to him. And sure enough, just a short time ago, one of his feet was run over by a gas buggy. Instead of getting a crushed foot, all he received was a scuffed shoe. It might have made him mad when the buggy ran over him, but at least he could walk away and laugh about it. We go to great lengths to protect ourselves from many types of injuries, but we seem to forget our eyes. Now, you're probably thinking, well, it can't happen to me. Now, let me tell you a story about myself. You see this hand? I got that injury because I thought it couldn't happen to me. I was a foreman at the time and ran an 1.5-inch punch right through my hand. That made a believer out of me. Not only could it happen, it did. What I would like to do, if I had the time, is to sit down with you individually and talk over this eye protection thing. I feel that strongly about it. Can you imagine how an eye injury could affect you? I was lucky. It was only a hand. If that had been my eye that was injured, I would have been much worse off. Just think how hard it would be to drive a car without good vision. Now look at this both ways. Can you imagine trying to hunt deer with only one good eye? Now, I mean the four-legged kind. Think how much more difficult your job would be if you didn't have good vision. What about the family? It would be pretty hard to provide for them as you would want to, wouldn't it? So you see, you have rather a strong obligation to yourself and to your family to see that you don't injure your eyes. This is one of the reasons why office personnel are required to wear eye protection when they are in the manufacturing areas. We're not naive enough to believe that some people aren't going to have difficulty getting used to wearing eye protection. I did. We are prepared to work with each individual person to make sure that wearing eye protection is made just as comfortable and convenient as possible. Something else you might want to bear in mind is that most people who have problems wearing eye protection have found they really need prescription glasses anyway. In fact, the National Society for the Prevention of Blindness tells us that most people over 40 need to wear glasses. I have to wear them, and I am only 39. Wearing eye protection is a pretty simple thing once the proper fit and adjustments are made. We all know that wearing eye protection is far better than losing even a small portion of our sight. In fact, I would even recommend that you wear safety glasses around the house as you are working on the car or doing some sort of carpentry work. If you have ever seen a nail fly through the air after being hit off center by a hammer, you know what I mean. All of us here at the St. Joseph Division have always had a pretty good sense of responsibility, and we know enough to take care of ourselves. That's why I would like to do this on a voluntary basis. Thank you.